Hello students, welcome to my session. Myself is Vanaja, lecturer in physics from Government Polytechnic Nirmal. Today I am going to explain the energy sources. In this we will discuss the renewable energy sources, non-renewable energy sources and the differences between these two. Then we discuss some renewable energy sources such as solar cooker, biogas, windmills, and finally the greenhouse effect. I am going to explain the renewable energy sources and greenhouse effect in this session. So first of all, renewable energy sources. What are renewable energy sources? So these are the energy sources that cycles or can be replaced, that can be cycles and can be replaced easily within a short time. After usage of these resources, they can be replaced easily within very short span of time, such as wind, solar energy, water, biomass fuels, geothermal energy, food or fiber. So these natural resources used by the human in so many ways, and after usage they can be easily replaced. Okay, we are using so much of water and solar energy and biomass fuels in our daily life, but they are not completed. But they are easily replacing. They are continuous resources. They are continuous resources and very easily replaced in very short span of time. So that's why these are called as renewable energy sources. Non-renewable energy sources. So these are the energy resource which cannot be replaced easily, and requires extremely long amount of time to replace itself. So after usage of these renewable energies, non-renewable energy sources, they can replaced and they cannot be replaced, and requires very lot of time, such as years, some years of time to replace itself. So like coal, petroleum, natural gas, fossil fuels, rocks and resources. So these after usage of these resources, they takes a very extremely long amount of time, hundreds of years time to replace itself. So that's why these are called as non-renewable energy sources. So they cannot be replaced and requires extremely long amount of time to replace itself, called as non-renewable energy sources. Then what are the differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources? So the differences are, first of all, the renewable energy sources are renewed by the nature in very short span of time, whereas the non-renewable energy sources may not replenished or renewed naturally and takes very long time to form again. So, and in renewable energy sources, these are the continuous available continuously, like solar energy, water, etc., whereas the non-renewable energy sources are exhausted after usage. These are exhausted after usage. So example is of fossils. Next, the renewable energy sources can be divided into continuous or flow, whereas non-renewable energy sources are can be recyclable or non-recyclable. Two types, recyclable and non-recyclable. And renewable energy source divided into the two types, continuous or flow. So these are the differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources. Next we go for some examples here, renewable and non-renewable energy sources. See, you can observe the slide here. the biomass energy, next hydropower energy, wind energy, solar energy, and geothermal energy. These are the some renewable energy sources which are available naturally: biomass energy, hydropower energy, wind energy, solar energy, and geothermal energy. So these are the energy sources which can be renewed easily within very short span of time, whereas non-renewable energy sources are fossil fuel oil, natural gas, coal, and nuclear energy. So these are the some of non-renewable energy sources which can be available. And after usage of these non-renewable energy sources, it takes a very huge amount of time to renew itself or replace itself. Okay, now we will discuss some renewable energy sources in this session, like solar energy, wind energy, and biogas energy. Okay, so first of all, the solar cooker. So this is the device which utilize the solar energy. So the solar cooker is a device which uses or utilize the solar energy, that is the renewable energy source, solar energy, and used for cooking purpose, used for the cooking purpose. And in this solar cooker, there is a conversion of energy. The solar energy is converted into the thermal energy, and thermal energy used to cook the food. Okay, so in the solar cooker is a device which utilizes solar energy and for cooking purpose, and in this cooker the solar energy is converted into the thermal energy, and this thermal energy is used to cook the food, which can be placed in the inside the solar cooker. So generally there are so many types of solar cookers in the market, but we generally use the box type of solar cooker. The box type of solar cooker is the best one. So what is the box type of solar cooker and how it can be prepared? What are the components of the box type solar cooker and what is the working of the solar cooker, we can be discuss here. Now this is the solar cooker. You can see in the slide here the figure on the right side of the slide, and in the left side the components of the solar cooker. The components of the solar cooker. So here the box, generally we use wooden box or metallic box. Wooden box or metallic box, and which can be coated with black color inside the cooker. The wooden box is coated with black color inside. What is the use of the black color? Painting means the black color can have the ability to absorb all types of radiations from solar energy. So all types of thermal radiation can be absorbed by the black color, so that the temperature of the box rises to a very high amount. The temperature increases gradually by using the black painting inside the box type cooker. So that's why we are painting with black color coating inside the wooden box. And the glass cover. So there is a mistake here. Glass cooker, glass cover. It is glass cover, the second one. So make it correction. The glass cover. So the glass cover is placed on the top of the box, and this glass cover is used to trap the to absorb the radiation. Next, there is a plane mirror which is placed inclined to the box. There is a plane mirror which acts like a reflector. Then cooking containers. These are placed inside the solar cooker. You can see the container here. That is, the food is in the container, and there is a glass above the metallic box, and black paint is inner wall of the metallic box. You can see in this figure, and there are solar radiations incident on the plane mirror and then reflected into the metallic box or wooden box. That's why the plane mirror is used. And solar radiations directly incident on the metallic box, or it can be incident on the plane mirror and reflected back into the metallic box. So there will be more amount of radiations can pass into the metallic cooker, metallic box. So this is the box type of solar cooker. Now then we can discuss these what are the usage of these components. Means there are 4 components in the solar cooker. One is box, next glass cover, plane mirror, and the food containers. So we'll discuss the advantages here. See, in the yellow color mark we can there highlighted the usage of these components. So first of all, here the box one. What is the use of box? Its box shape is very good and trapping the heat. So we are taking the box. Why we are using the box? To trap the heat. And next there is a reflector, plane mirror, which acts like a reflector. And what is the reflector usage? It is concentrate the radiation or the light rays. This is outside the outside reflecting lid. It concentrates the light rays. Then the glass lid traps the heat and uses the greenhouse effect. There is a glass lid and that traps the heat. So that's the side of the glass plane mirror. And the black coating, there is a black coating inside the box which converts the light into heat energy. Means the black color coating can absorb all thermal energy, so it absorbs the light radiation and convert into thermal heat energy. Okay. And next it has insulated sides, the bottom to trap the heat. So in sides of the box is insulated and to trap the heat. So they are insulated, outside of the box are insulated such as to trap the heat. Okay, so these are the advantages of the components of the different components of the box type cooker. Next, in the box type, by using these components for the box type cooker, we finally reach a temperature up to 150 degrees centigrade. See, the cooker can produce a temperature of up to 150 degrees centigrade. Generally, for a normal cooker, we get a boiling temperature, that is 100 degrees centigrade. But in box type cooker, we can achieve 150 degrees centigrade also. So it is very much good temperature to cook the food quickly. Okay, so by using these components only, plane mirror and insulation outside of the box and black coating inside the box, so by using these type of tips we can trap the heat effectively, and solar energy is effectively converted into the heat energy. The solar energy is effectively converted into thermal energy. So we can just put the food items in the containers, and once the temperature increases gradually, the food can be prepared easily. And what is the working? See, the solar cooker is a box like device, and its space is lined by black sheet here, and we kept some food material inside the containers so that it is converted by so it is covered by the glass sheet or glass cover. The total food containers placed inside the solar cooker, and this glass cover is on the top of the box. And the lid of the solar cooker has a plane mirror, and this mirror helps to focus the reflected rays of sunlight over the food material which is kept in the box. So we can place the solar cooker with food material inside the sunlight, and after some time food is cooked by the heat of sunlight and reflected on it by mirror of solar cooker. So here in this way the food is prepared very quickly. So depending on the absorption of the plane mirror, okay, it depends on the atmospheric conditions also. Okay, so but this can be very low cost, and we can easily prepare this solar box type solar cooker. Uh, so very effective and low cost, and very uh, the food can be hygienic, very uh, very nutrition food can be prepared by the solar cooker. Next one, the windmill. So the windmill is the another energy source. Here we are using wind energy, renewable energy source, and which converts the, first of all, the wind energy into rotational energy, and the rotational energy finally converted into the electrical energy. So wind energy converted into rotational energy, then to the rotational energy is converted into the electrical energy. And if you observe the components of the windmill, there are so many components here: the rotor blades, gearbox, anemometer, generator, tower. So here there are three rotor blades which are in front side of the windmill. Then there is a gearbox and the nacelle. Nacelle means inside the nacelle there are gearbox, anemometer, generator. All these are kept in the nacelle, and there is one more anemometer inside the nacelle, which estimates the velocity, the speed of the wind. And then the generator and the tower. So inside the tower there are power cables, and the power cables can be connected to the transformer, and the transformer to the switchyard, then switchyard to the consumers. Finally the electrical energy reached to the consumers. So these are the main components of the windmill. So once the wind is blowing with sufficient speed, the rotor blades can be rotated. First of all, when the wind will blows with sufficient energy, with sufficient speed, then the rotor blades can be rotates. So this rotational energy can be, and anemometer can estimate the actual speed of the wind. Then the gearbox is used to turn the rotational energy into gearbox, and the generator will convert the rotational energy into electrical energy. Okay, this electrical energy can be generated, and the current can be passed through the power cables, then to the tower, then the electrical energy is connected to the switchyard, finally reached the consumers. So here how windmills, the turbines work, how the blades, the rotor blades can be rotates. The wind turbines operate on the simple principle. The wind turns the blades, first of all, the sufficient speed of wind blows, then it rotates the blades, and which are connected to a rotor, nothing but gearbox. The rotor powers a generator. The main three parts of the wind turbines or windmill is blades plus rotor, nothing but turbines. As wind passes by, it makes the blades spin around, and these blades attached to the rotor in turn spin the shaft. So the shaft means a gearbox. The shaft nothing but a gearbox which increases the speed of the spinning blades enough to power the electricity generator. So the main advantage of gearbox is it just increases the speed of the spinning blades. The rotational speed can be enhanced by the gearbox, and which can be connected to the generator. So gearbox which increases the speed of the spinning blades enough to power the electricity generator. And whereas what is the use of generator? The generator can convert the mechanical energy or rotational energy into the electrical energy. So first of all, when the wind blows, the blades can be rotated. Okay, and this rotational energy can be rotational speed can be enhanced by the gearbox. Okay, the rotors or shaft, we can use the word shaft. So the increases, and the rotational energy can be changed into the electrical energy by the generator, and this electrical energy is uh, supplied to the consumer via the power cables, transformers and switch yards. Okay, this is the working of the windmill. So bigger the windmill, the more electricity can be generated generally. So in this case, the wind energy is converted into rotational energy, and the rotational energy converted into electrical energy. See, we'll discuss in very short form. So here observe that the wind, first of all, wind passes over the blades and makes them turn. What is the work of the wind? It just blows over the blades and make them turn. Means there is a rotational energy, that means kinetic energy or mechanical energy. Next, second one, the blades. The blades turn the shaft within the nacelle. Nacelle means the box at the front side of the turbine or the gearbox. So then shaft, what is the use of shaft? It turns the generator, which converts kinetic energy into electrical energy. Then a transformer, it converts the electrical energy to right voltage for a local network. So the electrical energy converted into the voltage for local network. Then the fifth one is the electricity. It is exported to the electricity grid, means the switch yard. So this is the complete pattern or working of the windmill. Then we go for biogas. What is the biogas? Biogas is the renewable energy source, and we can define that a gas which produces from the decomposition of animal, plant and human wastage in the absence of air or in the absence of oxygen is called biogas. Gas which can be decomposed decomposition of animal, plant or human wastage in the absence of oxygen or in the absence of air is called as biogas. Biogas. Decomposition of wastage. Decomposition of wastage. So this is the structure of biogas plant. So generally we use plant, animal or human wastage for the production of biogas. And what are the parts of the biogas? So the mixing tank, inlet chamber, digester, gas holder and outlet chamber. So in this, the kitchen wastage or cow dung, animal wastage, sugarcane wastage, anything, any wastage can be taken through this inlet chamber. This is the inlet chamber, so our mixing tank. So we can give the kitchen wastage or cow dung through this inlet chamber. Then in the middle of the plant there is a mixing tank. Here there is a mixing tank. So in the mixing tank we take the dung and the water mixture. We'll take this wastage plus water at the middle of the biogas plant. Then we have one outlet chamber here and overflow tank also there in behind the outlet chamber. And after decomposition, in the absence of oxygen, the biogas can be produced, and there is a pipe here at the center of the biogas plant. So gas valve outflow for the biogas. So there is a green color pipe here, you can observe from the slide. So we take this biogas plant the ground level, below the ground level. See, there is a ground level mark at the left side of the biogas plant here. What are the components? Mixing tank, ground level here, inlet chamber, dung and water mixture, here outlet chamber, overflow tank, and here biogas, gas valve, outflow for the biogas. So we just take the combination of water and the kitchen wastage or anything, animal or plant wastage, and we will mix it, and there is a process of decomposition in the absence of oxygen will give the biogas, will produce the biogas after some time, after some days. So first of all, the decomposition process will be done, and the plant can be taken below the ground level. This plant can be constructed below the ground level. It will be very low cost. So here the sources of biogas. What are the sources of biogas? Generally we use vegetable wastage, cattle dung, crop residue, sugarcane wastage, poultry droppings, agriculture wastage, municipal wastage, pig manure and sewage. So these are the sources of biogas. So here the high strength wastage and waste from water sludge, municipal organic wastage, food or kitchen organic wastage, forest and industrial woody wastage, animal wastage and agriculture residues can be used for the biogas, production of biogas. So these are the main sources. And what are the biogas consist of? Finally, the biogas is produced due to decomposition of these wastage in the absence of the oxygen. Then what is the use of these biogas, and what is the biogas consist of? Biogas can be consist of, it is a very clean and efficient fuel. It is a very clean and efficient fuel, and it is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. So this is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. Means the main constituent of biogas is methane. Means it consists of 65% of the biogas consists of methane. So this is the biogas. So what are the advantages of biogas? What are the advantages of biogas? So the biogas has high caloric value, and it is very clean fuel, no residue produced, and no smoke, non-polluting or no pollution. Next, very economical and can be supplied through pipelines and can burns readily, has a convenient ignition temperature. So very high caloric value, 39.5, megajoules. Next, it is a very clean fuel, and no residue can be produced after production of this biogas, and no smoke is produced, no pollution to the environment, and very economical. Next, can be supplied through pipelines. We can supply this biogas through the pipelines, and it is very convenient for the usage in for the houses. Next, it burns readily as a very convenient ignition temperature. It burns very effectively. Why? Because it has a convenient ignition temperature also. So these are the advantages. So first of all, biogas is a gas which can be produced by decomposition of the animal, human and plant wastage in the absence of oxygen. And there is a construction we already discussed. The construction is below the ground level. There is a chamber, inlet chamber, outlet chamber. There is a mixing tank, digester. So the process done inside the digester, and there is a gas holder to take the biogas outside, and outlet chamber. So generally we used the mixture of this wastage and water inside the biogas uh, plant, and after decomposition in the absence of oxygen the gas can be released, biogas, and this biogas can consist of 65% of methane, then carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. And the sources of biogas can be these vegetable wastage, cattle dung, pig manure, agriculture wastage, municipal wastage, poultry droppings, sugarcane wastage, and finally sewage and crop residue. So these are the sources. And finally the advantages of high caloric value, clean fuel, no residue produced, no smoke, no pollution, and very economical. It can be supplied through the pipelines also, and burns very readily, very effectively. Why? Because have a convenient ignition temperature for the biogas. So these are the advantages. Then finally the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect. So this is the phenomena in which the thermal radiation emitted by land and ocean is absorbed by the atmosphere, including clouds, and radiates back to earth, is called greenhouse effect. So in this, the thermal radiation is emitted by land and ocean, and this can be absorbed by the atmosphere, including clouds, and radiates back to the earth. Somewhat confusion in this definition. So in greenhouse effect, the earth can be the temperature of the earth can be increases gradually. Why it is increases gradually? What is the main why it is increases? The temperature of the earth increases rapidly. Why? So behind this, the main role of greenhouse effect is greenhouse gases. Due to greenhouse gases, the temperature of the earth is increases gradually. So what are the greenhouse gases? The greenhouse gases are methane, nitrous oxide, next carbon dioxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. Methane, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. So these are the main gases which can be increases the temperature of the gas or earth very rapidly. So what happens? We all know that the sun radiations come in various forms such as visible light, infrared light, UV light. Okay, the forms of radiation is UV, infrared and visible. But when sunlight reaches the earth, what happens? Some portions of the radiation from the sun are absorbed by the surface of the land, whereas some portions are reflected back. When the sunlight reaches the earth, some part of solar energies or the radiation is absorbed by the land, ocean, atmosphere, anything. So it can be absorbed by the surface and some part is reflected back. Some part is absorbed and remaining part is reflected back into the environment. But what happens when it is reflected back? Some part is absorbed already and the temperature of earth increased and remaining part is reflected back. Here the greenhouse gases comes into place. Here the greenhouse gases comes into play. So what happens when some part of the radiation is reflected back? During the greenhouse effect, these molecules of greenhouse gases, which are consisting in the environment, absorb the heat, absorb the radiation again. So first of all, some part is absorbed and some part is reflected. The reflected radiation is again absorbed by the molecules of these greenhouse gases. Molecules again absorb the heat and radiation and again absorbs, then reflected towards the earth again. Second time also some part of the radiation is coming towards the earth. Again some portion of radiation is absorbed by the earth. For the second time also the temperature of earth increases. So that's why the temperature increases rapidly due to the presence of greenhouse gases in the environment. If there are no greenhouse gases in the environment, only the sunlight absorbed by the earth and some part is reflected back. Only once the temperature of the earth is increases. But due to presence of these greenhouse gases in the nature, what happens? In the after reflection of radiation, they are absorbing the total radiation, infrared radiation, and it is again reflected back towards the earth second time. So the temperature increases 2 times. You can see the slide here. Incoming radiation absorbed in atmosphere by greenhouse gases and radiated out into space, then absorbed by the greenhouse gases and infrared radiation from the surface here. So infrared radiation is again absorbed by the earth. So here you can see the slide here. First of all, solar radiation passes through the clean atmosphere. Solar radiation passes through the clean atmosphere. Most of the radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface and warms it. First of all, what happens? The solar radiation passes through the clean atmosphere and most of the radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface and warms it. Then what happens? Some solar radiation is reflected by the earth and to the atmosphere. Solar radiation is absorbed by the earth's surface, warms it, and remaining part is reflected by the earth and the atmosphere. Then some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere and some is absorbed and re-emitted in all molecules. Some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere and some is absorbed and re-emitted in all molecules. The effect of this is to warm the earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. So these effect of this to warm the earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. So this can be done by the greenhouse gases. So the infrared radiation is emitted from the earth's surface. Infrared radiation is emitted from the earth's surface. So this is the greenhouse gas. So what happens here? First of all, the solar energy, the thermal radiation emitted by the land and oceans is absorbed by the atmosphere including clouds and radiates back into the earth is called greenhouse effect, and the greenhouse gases are methane, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons and carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. And during this greenhouse effect, first of all, the sun radiation comes from the in various forms such as visible light, infrared light and the UV light. When the light reaches the earth, some portions of the radiation is absorbed by the surface of the land, and whereas some portions are reflected back into the atmosphere. But generally the only clean radiation is absorbed by the earth first of all. But due to presence of these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, these molecules of greenhouse gases absorb the heat and reflected them to the surface. Again, because of this, the temperature of the earth's surface and the land surface increases gradually. So the temperature, first of all, during the absorption from the sun directly, the temperature increases, and during the re-radiation by the greenhouse gases towards the earth, the temperature increases the second time. So overall, the temperature of the earth can be increased very effectively. So that's why the greenhouse, due to greenhouse effect, the temperature of the earth is increases heavily. So there are so many disadvantages due to the presence of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So the temperature increases very inconvenient in the polar, during the at the poles the ice can be diluted and the water level increases, sea level increases due to greenhouse effect. Mainly this inconvenient is the temperature. The atmosphere increases very rapidly, means we get some diseases also, skin diseases, skin allergies can be happened due to this greenhouse gases. And some, not only humans but also the animals, plants can be affected by these high temperature due to greenhouse effect. So these are the in the greenhouse effect. So in this session we'll discuss the renewable, non-renewable energy sources, renewable, non-renewable energy sources, the differences between renewable and non-renewable energy sources, and different types of renewable and non-renewable energy sources. And here I discussed the solar cooker, the construction components of solar cooker, and what are the usage of these components, and what is the working of the solar cooker, Then we discussed windmill, the components, the working, then biogas, the construction, the parts of the biogas plant, and what are the sources, and what is the biogas consist of, and what are the advantages. Then finally the greenhouse effect, what are the greenhouse gases, and what is the greenhouse effect, why the temperature of the earth increases rapidly. So hope this session is useful for you student. Thank you one and all.